The S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, that's what we're talking about here on the day. Now, specifically what came out, the most important news of all was CPI data. And there was a little bit of anticipation that maybe headline CPI would come out better and core would come out higher. Contrary, worst case scenario happened, right? So what happens, you get headline 3.7, expected 3.6, core 0.3, not ideal. And then as expected, 4.3. Met expectations there. You could argue that maybe is the good note here. That's what to take. Now, a few things to know from this. I don't have the breakdown in front of me. I had to do the webinar in Discord today, so I just didn't have time to pull it up. But what happened and what was the biggest influence? The majority rise in CPI, 50% of the rise in inflation numbers were due to gas prices. Okay, that was a statistic that was out there, the biggest thing to understand, and it made sense. We knew that was going to come, right? We go to CL, we look at crude, and I think it gives you a clear answer, right? And crude still looks gnarly. You know, top side, we expected to chill out around 92, 93, so we still expect more upside. Okay, now, on top of that, again, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. We're getting somewhere, believe me. The likelihood of a pause actually went up 3% today. Fed fund futures, again, don't attack me. Don't attack me. So, how do we interpret this? What's happening from the movement, and ultimately, where are we going? Now, let's go over a few bullet points. I'm going to come back to this data, so stay with me. I got to quickly run through all this. There's quite a bit to cover. Okay, we have like a few little inflection points. So on Nasdaq, roughly 15.35. Now, what I want to highlight, and I'm just going to drag this down to 15.4 so you can see. And you basically battled all day long at 15.4. You just couldn't hold above it. It's a level, but it's not as big in my opinion as 15.495, the June 16th highs. This is still a level though. I want that to be known. You can see 15.4 constantly tested over and over and over here, right? And so today we just couldn't get over that level. So I want people to be cautious right here. There was a lot of names that I liked. If you saw on Twitter today, I mentioned Amazon a lot. Tesla, really decent movement. A lot of good names. They really were moving, bouncing back. Microsoft, I can go to laundry list of names like Meta, Whole 304, etc. And you've got some love on semis, right? But when we look at this, I urge you guys to be cautious. Even though the pricing in of a pause is good. That's very good that we're pricing in a pause more and more likely. And they most likely will. Why? Okay, when we look at said inflation data, what the Fed wants to happen is happening with everything that they control. Now, I want you to understand, if they raise rates, and I'm going to go over this a little bit more in the video, if they raise rates further, it will not impact the CPI report. It will not. It will not. Okay, you need to understand that. Because, again, we've seen the proof of CPI. And I personally believe that's why they're pricing in the pause. Because we look at core, it came out exactly where it was expected to come out. You look at everything else, it was affected heavily by energy. You negate energy, inflation continues to drop. Okay, that's what we're looking at. If you raise rates, it will not impact and have nothing to do with energy prices. So energy will continue to go up if you raise rates. Are we comprehending this? Okay, listen closely. Okay, I want to go over more stuff. But if you raise rates, it will not change the speed in which inflation is going down. It will not have anything to do or impact energy. So if energy continues to go up based on OPEC and based on global politics, okay, what will happen to inflation here in America based on CPI, PPI? They will continue to track to the upside. Can the Fed do anything about that? No. But everything the Fed wants to happen so far is happening. Unemployment's going up, which is affecting inflation in a good way. If you look at all the data, you look at what's happening with credit card rates, those are going up as well. Defaults are slowly rising as well. It's not happening in mass, not happening overnight, but that's what you want to happen. So again, price of a pause is being priced in. Again, I am kind of sitting on the sideline with that viewpoint, but again, we'll go over the trades, stuff I'm looking at today. Now, before we get into that, to ask you to do two things. Consider liking and subscribing every single day. As you can see here, I'm posting videos for you, the viewer, because we love you here, right? We want to give you the best, transparent, all the content possible every single day here on the channel. So again, appreciate the love, appreciate the support. The Discord link is also down below if you are interested. I do not take this as a signal service. Take this as an education and a value service, right? If you're looking to get under people to understand how to trade, why we get in, why we get out, how we're attacking each market every single day, trade setups, everything in between. We do mention what we're trading and how we're trading it, but it's more to get you to where you don't need us anymore. That's the goal of Discord. Okay, so if you're looking at it to just hold our hands right onto the sunset, check your phone 2 times a day and you're flippy phony and like, oh, look, I need to buy Amazon because I'm going to get rich. It's not going to work like that. I'm just going to tell you, don't subscribe, don't pay for it. You're going to be disappointed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the juicer, right? So 15.4 got rejected, came back down. Now, what I want to say, into the day, a little sell-off, and then you bounce right back up. Personally, you're still under all of our major levels, right? What are our major levels? I continue to say this, right? Even with good data, what did we want? We want confirmation. Even with bad data, what do we want? We want confirmation. I can only say this so much, okay? Fundamentals, I believe, are huge. But right now, when we look at what fundamentals are doing, it's a little bit of a mix. It's hard to interpret. I'm going to be the first one to say it. Hard to interpret. But when you look at the data and you look at what's the pause and everything in between, gives you a little bit of a direction here. Okay, so few things I do want to mention off rip. First thing, look at these 4-hour candles. So 1, 2. This is disgusting right here. 1, 2. Sellers are pathetic. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. Okay, let me mention a few things to you really quickly, and I can go over a handful of equities on where this makes sense too. And I honestly, I'm like, as of this moment, like you're going to need to see Fed members be very hawkish, like to get bearish here. Because as of right now, sellers refuse to show up time and time and time again. And giving you a visual here of what you see today with our volume, okay? I think volume was very interesting here on the day. Why is Yahoo Finance taking so long? So our volume here on the day was around 55.9 million. Pretty atrocious. Pretty terrible. It was god-awful. It's 101 Discord day is going to be bad. Okay. Off rip. So basically, this is where you get your data on this candle. You dip down immediately. You're immediately bought back up. 7 because it came out at 7:30. So you dip, bought back up. Market open. You dip, bought back up. End of the day. You dip, you're bought back up. Consistently. The only time that we saw volume step into the market was when you were getting bought back up. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Sellers had every opportunity in the book today to push you down. So I want to highlight that. On top of it, you're still making higher lows on the 4-hour chart. Gonna have to tell you that right now. If you get back above 44.95 on ES, I would be extremely bullish. Now, I will say, again, FOMC has a lot of implications behind it. If they decide to pause, I do think you're going to end up being pretty bullish. Just going to tell you right now. My personal opinion, where I stand. If they pause, it's going to have a bullish narrative, a bullish tone. Powell will say the same thing. We're still able to raise rates down the line if we need to. We're going to take data as we get it. That's what they're going to say. However, if they pause at this next meeting, which I believe is next week, if they pause, it will be more bullish in my view than it has been before, because not only are they pausing for a second time, but they're pausing after they got 2 CPI readings, 2 PPI readings, and a PCE report. So they got almost double the amount of information that they typically get going into a rate decision, right? And this was a little bit of a mixed, decisions that are mixed information and data that we're getting. A little bit bad, a little bit good. So important to realize that. And I'm talking about good as in being like last month's data. So that's what's important to realize there. Okay, understand. So again, where are you looking to get bullish? Again, I can only say it so many times, and people are like, Tyler, you're manipulating this. I'm like, guys, I don't know what else to say. Listen real close. Like, I'm gonna get real close to the camera. Okay, listen. To get bullish, you have to break this line right here at minimum 44.95. Then you look good. Okay, are you listening? Bookmark this. I'm not gonna be called a liar because I said this over and over. That's where you're really bullish. This is more of just insinuating the behavior here, right? You would like to see sellers step in. It would make more sense because when you get this type of action to the upside, you're clearly pushing up. But again, just comparing bulls to bears here. Under this area, you're skeptical. Where you get very big confirmation, 45.20. So pretty good confirmation above 44.95. I look to trade to the upside above 45.20. I'm slapping my knee. I'm calling my grandmother and telling her, load the boat. Okay, now for Nasdaq. Let me tell you both things. I know I'm not just going to give you one. I'm going to give you two, right? Relax. Okay, so again, over 15.495, right? 15.5 to be safe. That's where you look good. Then you break above previous highs here, 15.66. Then you look really good, okay? What happens if you're underneath these levels? Yes, there's no confirmation. You're a little concerned. It's not the best trading atmosphere, right? So again, follow on Twitter if you want to get these updates. I'm literally updating you guys every single day. I give you a market rundown before every trading session, 8:16, 8:30, right before market open usually. CPI higher than expected, but selling wasn't aggressive. This is before the market even hit. Need to see if we can get back over where? 15.4 at the bare minimum. 8.16 before the market opened. Where did we reject all day long? 15.4. It's all on Twitter for free. Don't fall for any traps today. Equities held up great versus the initial drop versus CPI. Don't rush. Wait for confirmation. Don't know what else to say. It's all there. I try to give it to you. Try to be transparent. I'll show you everything in between. Now, again, going into equities I like and things that I've been doing in the market. Now, again, I've been very cautious with my trading. I'm just going to show you, like, again, trade ideas has been kind of stagnant for us. Not a lot of trades, right? So today, what did we take? Once we hit the mount of 143.5 on Amazon, that was a clear sign to start trading it. I wanted to go to 146.5, but I told everyone in Discord, don't be too aggressive. Understand, holding things overnight, very risky here. You don't know what's going to happen. We're not mounted on any key levels, so try to stay in the realm of day trading, right? So where did we end up here? And this was also, I post this free because I'm a nice guy on Twitter as well. I mean, honestly, this daily candle in 4 hours is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I would tear her up. I'd tear her up, right? You look really good. You're mounted. You're sitting at like 145 roughly. So you look really good. Those contracts did okay, but ultimately that's the only trade that I've been taking as of recently. Okay, very clear, transparent, and also just to be completely transparent, not even my gains, right? Like to show everyone else's gains, just so people know, right? Stand up guy, right? Discord, not me. This is everyone else in Discord. So again, yes, cheers. Good job, guys. Okay, so we know where indexes are. We know what we need to be watching there. I'm not going to spend too much time on anything else. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Really, too, going into oil, I think oil, you still have more room to the upside. You go into what's happening with yields. They're sitting at resistance at those highs, and they want to push down. Really nasty daily candle here on yields. Nasty candle. Nasty candle. Nasty candle. Nasty candle. They're all nasty, okay? They all look like they want to dip. DXY. Not the worst candle. If DXY gets back below 104.6, again, we're going in, boys. We're diving in, right? We're diving in, right? That's where you want to see DXY get back below, get some confirmation back to the downside. Then you have more room and more legs, in my opinion, on NQ. And these are just indicators. Again, I'm trying to give you a little bit of tips, things you can look for to get that expected move to the upside, right? Just in case you want to be a little bit, a little risky, right? You want to jump in before you get confirmation, right? These are different signs you can be looking for. Now, equities. Okay, Amazon, obviously my favorite name, probably going to go to 146.5. The end. Don't want to talk about it anymore. I love it. Looks really good. Next up, I think semiconductors are very interesting. The most interesting part of the market right now. Very interesting. The fact that these are the candles you are getting on NVIDIA below 450. This yesterday candle was the most disgusting candle I've seen on NVIDIA. The fact that sellers cannot push you down from 447, 448 down to 440. You should already have been there. This level here, if you go look, this is totally illiquid. There's no liquidity here. There's none. You should have immediately dropped, but you didn't. Okay. Semiconductors. Specifically, you want a better view, SOXX, best way to track them. If you can start getting a bounce back into 500, I do believe NQ will easily push back up to 15.5. Right now, semiconductors are the only area of the market besides Apple that is holding you down. Personal opinion. Also, I think Apple's a buy. Call me crazy. Hey, gun to the head. I'm buying Apple, right? I'm just saying. So again, that's what I like. That's what I love. Tesla, you're sitting below 273, 274. There's nothing to talk about. Get above 274, you're probably ripping into 290. Gonna tell you that right now. So again, that's my viewpoint. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not getting too aggressive. Hey, nothing's changed here, guys. Nothing's changed here. It's all part of the plan. We're not getting faked out. We're not falling for the Fugazi. It's on Twitter. If you have questions, comment down below, because you know what? We love you. We're gonna answer those questions. Me and Jay. We're gonna sift through there all night long and answer your questions because we love you. Have a good one. Be safe. Don't trade like a degenerate. Have a good one.